Hi everyone. So we're going to start off our last quarter of the school year with some emoji printmaking. Printmaking is a type of artwork where you can make multiples. So using this one stamp that I created, you can make more than one print. So I'm going to show you how to create the stamp and then how to use it to make 4 prints in fluorescent colors. Now you're going to have a bit of an option. You can either do it on white paper or you can do it on black. The fluorescent colors show up nicely either way. This is just a personal preference. I did it on black and wasn't so thrilled, so I tried it on white. I like it better this way, but you're free to choose black if that's what you like. So let's talk a little bit about making the stamp. So if you look at the prints that I made using this printing plate, this stamp right here, you'll notice that there's areas that are completely white, and to get that you need to press down with the pen to sort of like color in the area and block that out. Just like I did with this little winking eye, I made sure that I pressed into the styrofoam nice and heavy so that way it comes out clean when I print it onto the paper like that. So the first thing you're gonna need to do is pick an emoji that you like. I started with this one, but I'm gonna make another one, probably with the crying tears eyes because I love that one. So right on the foam, you're going to put your tracer, this nice little lid, right on top of it, and you're gonna press nice and hard. Now, you can't move the tracer. You really wanna try and hold it nice and still. Now, you'll notice that I went around it a couple of times. I just wanted to make sure that my line was pretty deep and clear. If you don't press hard enough into the styrofoam, you'll get ink in your lines, and then you won't get as clear of a print as you could get. So I'm just gonna go back around and just make sure one more time. Now we're doing this directly on the foam, so you wanna try and think before you ink, friends. Think before you ink. That way you make sure you're getting it exactly the way you want it. I'm going to start with the eyes, and I'm starting pretty lightly and drawing it in. Then once I know I've got it, I press down a little bit deeper. Now here's the thing, you can either keep them just like the outlines, or you can color it in so that they show up white, so that those pieces won't receive any of the ink when you roll it on. I am going to color in the tears just because I do want those to show up white, so I want them to be blocked out. The mouth of this emoji has a smile with teeth showing. So what I'm going to do to make that happen is I'm going to make the outline pretty gently. And then I'm going to draw the teeth in. Now I'm going to put a couple of scratches into the back of the mouth, the empty part, so that that part doesn't show up as clearly. Kind of like what I did with the tongue here, that you can sort of see the texture that I've put on the tongue, but it doesn't totally block it out. Making sure that the pieces that I want to stay white, I press in nice and hard. Now, you are more than welcome to decorate around your emoji if you'd like some extra pattern. You don't have to, but I like to, so. So before you get to put the ink on it, you want to make sure that all of your lines are nice, clean, and deep. If they're not clean and deep, you're going to get ink into them. It's going to ruin your design. Okay, now I've got my emoji printing plate ready. My lines are clean and deep, and I've blocked out what I want to stay white, and I even put a little pattern in the background. So this is a pretty similar layout to what you're going to have on your table minus the big paint jars. I just wanted you to see the colors. So each of these trays is where the ink goes, and each of these is called a brayer. This is what you'll spread the ink out onto the tray with and also spread onto your actual printing plate. This is called a baron. This baron is what you use to rub on the back of your print so that you make sure that you put even pressure and get a full print instead of just wherever you pushed it down with your fingers. Okay, so the first most important part is that you have your name on the paper that you're going to print on first. I always say that, but this is really important because once you get ink on the other side, you really don't want to flip it over onto your table. So your name and the day you have art, then flip it. You'll also want to have it on top of a big piece of magazine, so that way we make less of a mess. On your table, you're also going to have an extra magazine. This is what we're going to do the rolling of the ink on. Just, it makes it super easy and less messy, and then that way, if your page is all gross, you can just flip the page, and we don't have to get any actual ink on the table. Thanks, Art of Ed. So we're going to start with the pink. You can start with whatever color you want. It's really not a big deal. So you're going to take the brayer, and you're going to roll the ink into a square. So I like to go sideways, and then up and down, and you're looking for the texture of an orange. So you're gonna have some kind of like little wrinkles in it and ripples in it. Just roll it back and forth into a nice square or rectangle until you've got the entire brayer covered. You're looking to cover the brayer, not to cover the tray. One more roll. You should hear that sound. There's the texture of an orange peel. And then you go ahead and roll that on your magazine onto your printing plate. If there's no printing ink in your lines, you are good to go. So I put the brayer down, I take my paper that's got my magazine paper that's got my white paper on it, I pick it up by the corners, and it's just like using a stamp. I'm going to match it up with one of the corners. This paper is exactly big enough to fit 4 of these. Put it down, grab the baron, and then take the baron and hold on the little handle and kind of just rub your print down. You want to make sure that you rub the whole thing. We use this so that way we get even pressure on the whole thing and we don't get half of a print. That's no fun. Rub, 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 and then you're ready to pull your very first print. Here we go. So there you have your very first emoji print. You're going to repeat those steps again and again and again. You can use all 4 colors, you can use 2 colors, you can use all the same color. It's totally up to you. Now these tend to dry pretty quickly, so I'm just going to take my print, I'm just going to rub it onto the magazine paper, pull it, and get rid of any excess of it. Now if you wanted to, you could pull a second print using that. This is called a ghost print, but we don't need to worry about that. So once your print is ready to add more ink, just go on to the next color. I'm going to go for the orange, and I'm going to do the same thing. So when your magazine starts to look like this, we can just flip the page. Feel free to use both sides of the paper, not a big deal, as long as we get the least amount of ink on the table, makes our cleanup a little bit easier. Now go ahead and do your 3rd and 4th prints. So here are some quick tips for success. So first off, I should have done it earlier, but I like to put a T on the back of this as well as your name. so that you know where the top of the emoji is, so that way all your emojis are facing the same direction. Now, if you want them to be facing different directions, then forget the T. You can put them whichever way you want. What I want you to see is how you can make multiples using one printing plate. So here's your finished 4 print emoji. Now, some tips. If you don't like the way that the green came out, because it's got kind of some of the other colors in it, you're free to go wash your styrofoam gently, and then you can come back and do the green if you'd like a cleaner green. Also, you're only gonna get 2 or 3 prints out of each tray of this, so if you need some more, just let me know. I'll bring you some more, not a big deal. When you are done, you can wash this off and take it home, or just toss it. That's okay too. When you're done with all of the printing, your lovely piece of artwork goes straight to the drying rack. Please and thanks.